first thank you for the invitation, and I'm grateful to the organizers for inviting me to participate in this conference. I would like to share my slide on this. Is that possible?
You can share your slide. I've given you the rights.
Okay. So I am coming from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. Nigeria is one of the countries in Africa situated around west of Africa, sub-Sahara. We are known for sports, and that's why we have a young lady with a flag there, flying it high. So in terms of sports, we are known for that. Because I have just a few minutes, I will just quickly go over to preamble. And then I'm standing on already existing protocol. Our interest at this time is to look at the world as it is at the moment. The first industrial revolution created a lot of problems. And around 1970s, we had global crisis on energy. And because of that, search for new ways of handling our environment while the population continues to increase needs urgent attention. As the globe and global population increases, the energy consumption also continues to rise. And this is a concern to the world as it faces tremendous difficulties. Fossil fuel has been a source of raw material for a long time until now, and is continuing to play a global role in terms of providing primary energy sources. However, it is depleting at an alarming rate, producing poisonous gases, causing serious environmental and climatic issues. Now, to overcome these problems to the environment, we need to have green design and analysis. We have to have a new research. We have to have new concepts, and then creative developments of new technologies. Innovative research and fresh innovations in the application of new instruments to address difficulties should be pursued. And sustainability, as has been discussed, is very, very much important. In order to overcome these challenges, we should have a clear, research-based, thorough, and practical way of handling issues as applied to increase productivity and sustainability. Substantial research should be provided which approaches new researches with vital applications in discipline, in chemical and physical sciences, as well as in engineering. In order to cope with and protect our corroding environment, as well as providing cleaner and fresher air through nanotechnology, we need to actually address serious issues that concerns the increase in research as at this time. As we already know, a lot of things are going on, new researches, new equipment, a lot of, already we have mentioned about big data. This big data does not go without new sciences that are being created, and the environment is actually suffering and a lot of things happening. In this, our presentation, we will only discuss the synthesis and characterization of perovskite solar cell with a view to developing clean and cheap energy, as well as creating an environment that is very useful to every man on earth. In the work we have done, we tried to look at perovskite solar cell, which we developed using spin coating, chemical vapor deposition, chemical bath deposition, and the efficiencies were calculated to be between 0.046 and 12.89 as we respectively use this equipment. We would like to look at the beginning, a few words about the Nano Research Group. We talk about motivating issues of technology, some works done, especially the perovskites, and then we conclude. As we already said and mentioned, the first industrial revolution has created a lot. Coal was used to power some steam engine, and a lot of poisonous gases coming from the coal were released to the environment. And from that first industrial revolution up to date, man has suffered a lot as the environment is continually being under attack from man trying to address his problems through energy consumption. In our research group, we have about 20 employees, PhDs and technical staff. And then we have between 30 to 40 postgraduate students in engineering and science. Researches in which we find ourselves and which we apply in nanotechnology are in the energy and sustainability. We talk about the environment, the agri, and the health. Now, the use of fossil fuel has generated problems worldwide, as we have continued to discuss. Unfortunately, to some of us who are in Africa, developing world, we depend highly on overused vehicle in Europe and the West. And these vehicles, which are already, the way I put it, dead, are shipped to us. And then with our crude oil, which is not well refined, we continue to use it to drive our cars and in our transportations, increasing pollutions. However, we have to note that even though some of these pollutions are taking place in developing countries, the gases are not restricted to those places. A gas that is released in Nigeria with some of these challenging climatic issues could find its way to some places in Europe. And so it is very important that in everywhere we try to develop science that is able to give us good environment and then possible ease of life. Now let us look at the global energy demand. As at 1960, the population of the world is about 3 billion. And as we already know, India, China, Africa has a big share in this population. It is expected that by 2014, hello? Hello? Are you hearing me?
Yeah, you please carry on.
Okay, so by 2050, the earth will be filled with about 9 billion people. These 9 billion people will depend on crude oil, natural gas for its energy supply. And it is expected that by 2040, renewable energy is expected to give only about 8% of the total energy that is being used. So renewable environment at the moment is contributing very little to clean environment. And it's expected that we have to do a lot of work in order to increase the use of renewable energy and then address the issue of the climate and then the environment. And notwithstanding, a lot is still being done in order to clean up these fossil fuels so that the poisonous gases related to it could no longer be highly introduced into the environment. Global liquid demand is expected to pick up in late 20s, followed by 10% decrease by 2050. So efforts are being made in order to reduce the use of this fossil fuel. For coal, it is expected to decline to 40% by 2050. South Africa uses coal for its supply of electricity. Nigeria, as it is, depend more on crude oil for that. Gas demand will continue to increase and is expected to peak at 2038. Gas demand by 2050 is expected to be higher than today's level by 5%. So all these predictions are in a way to make sure that by 2050, relying on fossil fuel could be reduced to minimum, and then it will help in advancement of clean environment, and then our corroding system could be a little bit cleansed. Current average global primary energy consumption sits at approximately 14 terawatts. That is the energy that we consume at the moment. More than 80% are coming from fossil fuel, and then less than 1% coming from carbon-free renewable power, such as geothermal, wind, solar, and biofuel. The rapid industrialization of emerging economies, global power demand is expected to double to about 25 to 30 terawatts by 2050. Now, the challenge posed at the moment, as we all know, is the war between Russia and Ukraine. And it has caused a lot of disruption in energy supply throughout the world. And then food crisis is also involved. So obviously, while we want the emerging economies to grow, we needed to minimize certain issues, especially in terms of wars. Now, what can we do in order to have a sustainable development devoid of poisonous gases introduced into the atmosphere, and then use of some chemicals that corrode our environment? We could use some chemicals and physical synthesis of nanomaterials for sustainable development. In our lab, we try to use something like physical, thermal evaporation, and ball milling. We also try to use chemical dissolving and solution-based in order to reduce the use of some chemicals. Also, we try to use some biological issues in order to reduce introducing more dangerous chemicals into the environment. So we extract some phytochemicals from plants and use them in order to do some synthesis. We try to use chemical baths, sealer method, and spray and electrode deposition in what we are doing. And we also use spin coating and hydrothermal to do some of the synthesis. Of course, the interest in advances in chemical and physical sciences for sustainable development is a concern for scientists and researchers. The agency researchers are doing much in order to bring up young scientists who could replace them. And then while the science is still going on, the unfortunate is that fund is gradually being removed from science, and then we need to do more in order to see that real science is going on to have a sustainable development. So quickly, I will have to move to the little work we have done on perovskite solar cell in order to conclude. So we tried to look at perovskite solar cell, which consists of N-type and P-type, with absorber as perovskites. So why did we go into perovskite solar cell? It has a weak excitation binding energy, high absorption coefficient, broad absorption spectrum, low cost production, long carrier diffusion efficient, diffusion length, and then high charge carrier mobility. In this, even though there are still some works going on in order to reduce the use of some poisonous gases, something like lead, there are more works done, but at the moment, lead in perovskite plays an important role, but minimal use is encouraged. So here is the device we made and what it looks like. We have a gold contact and then spiral unmetered as co-conducting. We have perovskites as absorber and then titanium as electron transport layer, then the FTO, and so on. The design is as stated there. So we use two methods. We use solution growth and then we use the vacuum method. And then in producing the material, in order not to bog us with the science there, we just have to declare that we did some characterization.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm rounding up.
Yeah,
I'm
Dr.
rounding up.
Fabian.
Yeah.
Can we wind up because we are running short of time? Sorry.
Yeah, just a second, and I'll be through. So these are the few results we obtained, and we showed that a good result is gotten from there. In summary, we doped titanium to enhance the electron transport capability, and then perovskite deposited in vacuum by CVD gives a better photovoltaic parameter. Stability improved by preparing perovskite active layer in vacuum. Energy is converted, solar energy, in one way to save our planet. I want to thank you for listening. If we combine good science with sustainability in pursuing our interest, we will be able to have a clean environment, and then we live a healthy life on the planet Earth. Thank you for listening.